Shalom, my brothers and sisters. We got Brother Guardine to my left. And we got
Shalom, brothers and sisters.
We got the hammer to the right.
Shalom.
Okay, and I posted a while back on Ben. I posted Leviticus 23, and I posted a menorah. And we're going to deal with the feast days. We're going to deal with the 7 annual feast days. And before we get into that, I just want to say this is to the brothers and sisters that are coming into the truth, that are new, and some that has been in the truth. If you don't know the meaning of these feast days, future tense and past tense, if you already know, just take this ride with us.
That's right, that's right.
So we're going to do an overview of the feast days. So I said Colossians 2, verse 16.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and read.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of a holiday, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. Verse 17. Which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ.
So now, the reason why I had him to read that is because when you get into the truth, you notice you start dealing with family members, and you start not to do the holidays and stuff, and then they wonder what's wrong with you, and you're different now, and you're acting weird or whatever. But it says, let no man judge you in any holy day.
That's right.
So you just do what the Most High is asking you to do, okay? So before we get into the feast days, which are Leviticus 23, we're gonna take a walk back into the wilderness, and we're gonna go up on the mountaintop, and we're gonna get Moses' resume. So let's go to Exodus 24, verse 9 through 13.
9 through 13.
Yes, sir. We're gonna 9 through 13, and then verse 18.
Okay.
So Exodus 24. Exodus 24, verse 9.
So this is Exodus chapter 24, verse 9 to 12, and then we go skip over to 18.
Yes, sir.
And it reads, Then went up Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel. And there was under his feet as it were a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand also. They saw God and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tablets of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and got him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights.
Now let me elaborate on this. First of all, when you go to verse 7, notice everything that the Most High was telling Moses. When you go to verse 7, he was writing in the book. Okay? Now, a lot of us, when we get into this truth and we start reading, Moses was up there in verse 18, 40 man days and 40 man nights, meaning he was up there, what, a month and 10 days or close to it?
That's right.
Okay,
right.
So that was the first time, but actually Moses was 80 days and 80 nights.
That's right.
So we're going to skip over, and the reason why we're going here is I want to show you where he got this information from. And it wasn't the Most High speaking out of a cloud. The Most High was dealing with him face to face. We're going to show you that.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to go to Exodus 32 and verse 19. Exodus 32. Let me get there. Verse 19. Read that.
Exodus 32 and 19. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount.
So the first tablet was broken. Y'all see that? So the first tablet was broken. Let's skip over to verse 33 and read 33, 7 to 17. Before he say this, you're going to see that you got to have a face to see somebody's face, right? Okay, I'm going to show you. Go ahead. Verse 7.
Verse 7, 33 and 7. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that every one which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. And it came to pass, when Moses went out unto the tabernacle, that all the people rose up, and stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended, and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord talked with Moses. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door. And all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door.
Stop. So now he was at the tabernacle, and the whole people seen the cloud. But check out what Moses seen. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face.
Stop. So he had to have a face. So did Moses see his face, or did he just see a beam?
Face to face.
Keep going.
As a man speaking unto his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned again into the camp.
Stop. It said, unto as a friend. So Moses in the Most High, he was talking to him like you talk to your partner. Come on, read.
And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Verse 12. And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Verse 13. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. Verse 14.
Yes.
And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. Verse 15. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. 16. For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Verse 17. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. Verse 18. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory.
So stop. So Moses wanted to see the Most High in his full strength. But no man can see God and live, or the Most High. Read a couple more verses down.
Okay. 19. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. Verse 20. And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for thou shalt no man see me and live.
Stop. So now, some scriptures back, the Most High talked to Moses face to face. But he did not talk to Moses in his full strength. Because in verse 18 it says, show me your glory. No man can see the Most High in his glory, not as a man. Now when you get that glorified body, you will see the Most High and the Father.
Ah.
Let's clarify that. But he did see the Mashiach. So now let's go to 34 and read 1 through 6. Now remember the first tablets got broke. Let's read Exodus 34 verse 1 through 6.
This is Exodus chapter 34, verse 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tablets of stone like unto the first. And I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount. Neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount. And he hewed 2 tablets of stone, like unto the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning, and went up unto the Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him, and took in his hand the tablets of stone. And the Lord descended in the cloud, and stood with him there.
Wait. He stood with them there, so he had to have legs to stand, right? Mm-hmm. He showed you face to face. He talked to him like a friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to have legs to stand. Keep reading.
And proclaimed the name of the Lord. And the Lord passed by before him, and proclaimed, the Lord God, mercy and gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth.
Now, what's so cool about that is that when you read this, before I got into truth, I tried to understand the scriptures and stuff, but I didn't understand precept upon precept, line upon line. But see, besides him getting the tablets, them 80 days and 80 nights, 40 days one time and then 40 nights, okay, he was getting the first 5 books. Okay, I want you to jump to verse 18 and read.
This is Exodus chapter 34, verse 16 to 18. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their gods. And make thy sons go a-whoring after their gods. Thou shalt not make thee no molten gods. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep 7 days. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread as I commanded thee, in the time of the month of Abib. For in the month of Abib thou camest out from Egypt.
So before he finished, while he was up there, after he got the tablets, this is what the Most High is giving him as he's talking to him for all those days. He didn't need no drink. He didn't need no water. He was with the Most High. So the reason why I'm having him to read this, because this is in Leviticus 23. So where did you leave off at?
Exodus 34 and 18.
All right, keep on coming down.
Verse 19.
Yes.
All that opens the matrix is mine, and every firstling among the cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou redeem him not, then shalt thou break his neck. All the firstborn of thy sons thou shalt redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days shalt thou work, but on the 7th day thou shalt rest. In earning time and in harvest thou shalt rest. And thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, of first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the year's end.
So right here where Moses was up on the mount, and he was up there for 40 days and 40 nights. You're getting a blueprint of the first 5 books, and you're getting a blueprint. He just read part of Leviticus. So now I need for Quadim to go ahead and read 34 verse 27 and 28. Or no, you can finish that out. You go ahead and finish that out. 34 says, so jump over to 27 and read 27 and 28.
So this Exodus chapter 34, verse 27 to 28.
Yes, go ahead and read.
And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments.
So he was up there he got the 10 commandments, which were on the tablets, and he also was writing the first 5 books. Okay, so we're going to jump to Numbers chapter 12, and read 1 through 9. This is Moses, Miriam, and Aaron.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Had he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Stop. I would be meek too after 80 days and 80 nights, dealing with the Most High. Come on, read.
Right. And this is verse 4. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out ye 3 unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they 3 came out.
So they was in the tabernacle was outside the camp. So the Most High heard what Aaron and Miriam was saying, and he called them out. Go ahead and finish reading.
This is verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I the Lord will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
Okay, so he said, I will speak to him mouth to mouth. Look up similitude. Let's get the definition of that. See, a lot of people think when the Most High was dealing with Moses, he was dealing with Moses personally. And I know about Enoch, but as far as accurate account of actual man days and Moses dealing with the Most High, he dealt with him personally. It said mouth to mouth, but we read when he was up on the mount, he dealt with him face to face, right? What does similitude mean?
This is the definition of similitude. The quality or state of being similar to something. A comparison between 2 things. A person or thing resembling someone or something else.
So was that his likeness?
Yep.
So he's seen exactly what Abraham seen. That's what he's seen. I want to go to let you know that when they was in the wilderness, and this right here just shows you that cloud or whatever was his transportation. But he was actually coming down. Let me show you that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23, and I want you to read 13 and 14. Go ahead and read that.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13 and 14. And it reads, and thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be, when thou willest ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which comes from thee. And the Lord thy God shall walk in the midst of thy camp, to deliver thee, and to give up thy enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee, even among you, in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, where it likes him best. Thou shalt not oppress him.
So I had him to read that to show you that the Most High was walking in the camp. Okay, the book says it. I'm not saying that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1 through 4. You're going to get to these feast days, but I just wanted to give you the resume.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
So he was in the wilderness, and I showed you that in the previous scriptures. So now we're gonna go to John chapter 8, the book of John, chapter 8, verse 56. You take them right here. This way you take them and show them. John chapter 8, verse 56 and through 58.
This is John chapter 8, verse 52 to 59. And it reads, Then said the Jews unto him, Now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead, and the prophets, and thou sayest, If a man keep my sayings, he shall never taste death. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead? And the prophets are dead. Whom makest thou thyself? Jesus answered, If I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honors me, of whom ye say that he is your God. Yet ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say, I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. But I know him and keep his sayings. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it, and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
I exist.
Then took they up stones to cast at him. But Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by.
So let's go and see when Abraham rejoiced. That's Genesis 18. Genesis 18, verse 1.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 18 and 1. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant.
So now, as he's reading this, it says 3 men, but it was actually the Most High and 2 angels. Keep reading.
Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and to rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the herd. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life.
Now this is the Most High talking.
And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
Now stop right there. That's a good point. See now, this is the Most High and two angels. Notice two angels and the Most High. But they ate and learned something on the way to learn something. She said in verse 12, Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old. You see that I am? You can't use that in the sentence. If it, you know what, we're going to leave that one alone. But it says, after I am waxed old. So you can't use the Most High's name in vain. But let's move on. Let's learn something on the way to learning something. Where did you stop at?
And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying,
See?
Shall I of surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way.
That's good right there. So the two men was actually the two angels going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. But what Abraham saw and who he was talking to and who he ate with is what Moses saw up on the mount. You can read this on your own. You can go break down the menorah. It's in Exodus 25, verse 31, 37. And then you got 25, verse 31, 37. And then you got Exodus 37, verse 17 through 24. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Leviticus 23, and we're going to break down these feast days. Leviticus 23, and I need you to read, verse 1 to 3. So the reason why we're breaking this down is because anybody that come into this truth, you know how to celebrate the holidays. So you need to know in detail how to celebrate the feast days. This is one of the things you should be learning during that first year, the first couple of months, or however you study or whoever is teaching you. You should know, because this Leviticus 23 is going to show you how to carry yourself through the year. And what feast day? The Most High liked barbecues. He was the one that invented them. He liked parties. Yep. You see, the children of Israel was partying, not going north. So it's nothing new. So go ahead and read Leviticus 23, verse 1 to 3.
So this is Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1 to verse 3. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, Concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, and a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
So right here, these are not Moses. These are the Most High's feasts. Just like when Moses went up to get them tablets, Leviticus, the first 5 books, the Most High told Moses to train the people on the laws, the rules, and how to conduct themselves as the Most High's people. So, you know, I kind of get not frustrated, but when they say the Mosaic law, it's the Most High's law. He just translated it to Moses to bring it down so his people could serve him a certain way. Go ahead and get the precept to that, and that would be Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 to 3. Go ahead and read that, Hammer. We got you next. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 3. So this is the Lord's Sabbath. You know where we're going, the 2nd chapter of Genesis.
So this is Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. And it reads, Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his works which God created and made.
So the first thing we need to know is when we come into the truth, for the newcomers and stuff, they need to know how Sunday is not the holy day, it's the Sabbath. So this is what we're breaking down. First of all, you need to learn as far as being an Israelite. Okay? So now we're going to go get another witness. Let's go to Luke 4, verse 14 through 17. Let's get another witness.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 14. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day, and stood up for to read. Verse 17. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written.
So y'all see that? So the Messiah went. So let's go get another witness. Let's go to Acts 13. Acts 13, verse 14 through 16. Acts 13, verse 14 through 16. And then 42 to 44. Skip to 42, 44.
Now when Paul and his company loosed from Paphos, they came to Perga and Pamphylia. John departed from them and returned to Jerusalem. But when they departed from Perga, they came into Antioch, Pisidia, and went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day, and sat down. And after the reading of the law and the prophets, the rulers of the synagogue sent unto them, saying, Ye men and brethren, if ye have any word of exhortation for the people, say on. Then Paul stood up and beckoned with his hand, saying, Men of Israel, and ye that fear God, give audience.
Skip over to 42 and read 42 and 44.
42, verse 44. And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath. And now when the congregation was broken up, many of the Jews and religious proselytes followed Paul and Barnabas, who speaking to them persuaded them to continue in the grace of God. And the next Sabbath day came, almost the whole city to gather to hear the word of God.
Okay, let's go back to Leviticus. So, the Mashiach was honoring the Sabbath day. We went into Acts to show you that after he was crucified, they still, Sabbath day is a Sabbath day.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave you an example. So we're going to go back to Leviticus 23, and we're finna get into these holy days. So now, Sabbath is every Saturday, which is the Sabbath. So newcomers need to know this, and so that you can honor that. So we're going back to Leviticus 23, where the different feast days is broke down. So now we're finna get into the Passover, the first feast day. Let's get into that one. So read 4 through 8.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations.
Stop.
Okay.
These are the feasts of the Lord. So I mean, I'm not trying to bang on this, but these are the feasts of the Lord, not Moses. So when they say the Mosaic law, yeah, but he got direct information from the Most High, face to face, to give to the people, show them how to live and celebrate him. Let's go.
In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. This is 9. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye become into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof.
Okay, so in verse 10, we're going to be dealing with first fruit.
Okay.
So you got Passover, which is the month of Abib is the month of Anu, which actually the new year start. So the month of Anu is the month of Abib. The 14th day is the Passover at sundown. Then that next day, sundown, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days. So the first holy day is Passover, which you taking the wine and the bread. Okay, so we're just going to give a briefing on each, an overview of each feast day. So these are 2 feast days back to back. So you got Passover, the next day is unleavened bread, and then you do unleavened bread for 7 days. So the first day of unleavened bread, you have a holy convocation. So you're really having a double. You're having Passover, holy convocation. Next day is Feast of Unleavened Bread, holy convocation, and then you eat unleavened bread for 7 days, and on that 7th day, so we're going to give you an example. Let's go to Exodus 12, verse 1 through 14. So actually we're doing 2. So it's Passover, then unleavened bread. That's when we do the unleavened bread and the wine, and then the next day is you have a holy convocation, and then you have a celebration. So like you get it in on Christmas and all that, you're supposed to get it in and party and have fun for the Most High. This is he don't have a problem with you doing it, but you got to do it right. So what did I say? Exodus 12. He wants you to celebrate and be merry in Him. He the one created parties. This didn't just start.
Right.
Israel was always partying. They partied in the wilderness with the golden calf that Aaron made and all that.
Right.
Let's go to Exodus 12, verse 1 through 14. Read that.
This is Exodus chapter 12, verse 1 through 14.
This is actual Passover.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto him his house take it according to the number of the soul. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. The lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper door post of the house, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire and unleavened bread. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remains of it until the morning shall you burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborns in the land of Egypt, both man, beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the house,
Yes.
where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
So when you come into this truth, you definitely have to do Passover. So we're going to go into 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, 7 through 11.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, 7 through 11. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
All right, go back and read verse 7 again.
Verse 7.
Mhm.
Purge out therefore the old leaven,
Stop. The leaven means sin. Keep on going.
that ye may be a new lump.
So, okay, when you do when you do the second feast day, which is the feast of unleavened bread, the 7 days represent 1 day is 1,000 years. 1,000 years is 1 day with the Most High. So man has 7,000 years to get it right. So when you come into this truth until you die, that's how much time you got. So that leaven in there represents sin. Read that again.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us.
So he had to be a sacrifice so that his blood could be shed so that we can be up underneath his blood.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Did you go all the way to 11?
No.
Come on down.
Okay. I'm going to just start at 8.
Okay.
Therefore let us keep the feast,
Mm-hmm.
not with old leaven,
Mm-hmm.
neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to accompany with fornicators,
Mm-hmm.
yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or the extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world. But now I have written unto you not to keep company. If any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, with such an one know not to eat.
What verse you that?
That's 11.
You might as well finish it out. 12 and 13. Go, come on.
All right, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within, but them that are without God judgeth. Therefore put away from amongst yourself that wicked person.
So when you come into this truth and you learn about the feast days, you become a new person. You walk in the newness of life. Let's go to Luke 22. Let's go to Luke 22, 4 Gospels. Luke 22, verse 14 to 20.
This is Luke chapter 22, verse 14 to 22. And it reads, And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the cup and gave thanks, and said, Take this and divide it amongst yourselves.
Stop. So when you're actually doing Passover, you might want to read this as you're doing it. The wine and the bread. So when we teach it and when we celebrate it, this is how we do it. We read this and then we take the wine and the bread as we're doing it. I didn't mean to stop. You can start over again, bro.
Okay. Verse 14.
Yes.
And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this and divide it amongst yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave it unto them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. But behold, the hand of him that betrays me is with me on the table. And truly the Son of Man goes as it was determined, but woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed.
That's good right there. So he was talking about Judas.
That's right.
Okay, so normally when we do the ceremony, we read this while as we take in the wine and the bread. So we're going to go to Romans chapter 6, verse 1 through 6. That's two chapters over. We're still talking about Passover and unleavened bread. Romans 6, verse 1 through 6.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Jesus Christ were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in the newness of life.
So when you're doing the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days, you're doing the practice of being clean, sin-free. And that's what's required of you. Did you go all the way down to 6?
No.
Come on down to 6.
This is 5. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Verse 6.
See, the likeness of his death, the likeness of his resurrection, right? We're going to show you in the other feast days, this is what we're looking forward to. Come on.
Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin.
So when you do the 7 days, that's what you're doing. It's a practice showing that you're serving the feast days instead of the holidays. So we're going to go to 1 Corinthians. We're going to go to one more. Then we get to the next one. We can go to 1 Corinthians 11. 1 Corinthians 11, that's the next book over. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 23 to 29.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 23 to 29. And it reads, For I have received of the Lord that which also I deliver unto you, that the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat. This is my body. This is my body. Where is that? This is my body which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my body. This do ye as often you drink it, in remembrance of me.
I want to say something before we finish reading. So now a lot of churches, when you get into the Christianity, they want to take the wine and the bread, which is actually the little cracker with the cup with the grape juice, like once a month. No, you got to take everything in this time. That's wrong. I used to do that when I used to go to church. I was into that. I couldn't wait to get the little cracker and the wine. I thought I was doing something, but that's not correct. So they take this scripture and say it means to do as often as we can. It's not every month, once a month. It's every month of Abib every year. Go ahead and finish down to 29.
Verse 26. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord.
Stop. Before he read this next verse, you damn if you do and you damn if you don't.
That's right.
Keep on going.
28.
You're going to get cut either way.
That's right.
Come on.
But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eats and drinks unworthily eats and drinks damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body.
Let's go back to Leviticus 23. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword on that one. Because if you're up under the blood, you're asking for forgiveness. So, nobody's perfect. We're still a work in progress. I'm not perfect. Not even close. Leviticus 23, we're going back to that. Leviticus 23, verse 10. This is first fruits. First fruits, which is actually is first fruits, Feast of Weeks, Pentecost. But I like first fruits. You can call it either or. It all means the same thing. So we're going to read Leviticus verse 10. Yeah, we're going to read verse 10 and come on down.
This is the book of Leviticus 23, verse 10. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day, when ye wave the sheep and he lamb without blemish of the first year, for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of an hin. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheep of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord.
All right, stop right there. So what that's talking about is you got 7 Sabbath or 50 days. That next day makes 50, Pentecost. But what this future tense represents, it represents Christ being the first fruit born from the dead. The body that he got is the body that we're going to get in Thessalonians. So when you celebrate first fruit, that's what you're celebrating. You want that glorified body.
That's right.
So we're going did you read? No, go down, jump down to 20 and 21. Read 20 and 21.
All right. Verse 20. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord. With the 2 lambs, they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day, that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
Okay, so now when it says then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid goat for the sins offering and 2 lambs. This is verse 19 of the first year for a sacrifice, a peace offering. Well, first fruits, the Messiah said, touch me not. He had to go, I have not ascended to my Father. So when he ascended to his Father and the Father accepted, that was waving the sheep. Let's move on. He had to be accepted by the Most High, which was his Father. Let's get Acts chapter 2, verse 1 through 5. Let me get there. So when you celebrating first fruits, you celebrating saying you want that glorified body.
That's right.
I want it.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but I want it.
That's right.
And I don't want it in the second. I want it in the Thessalonians. I don't want it on the white throne judgment.
That's real.
Because then you get to judge
That's right.
the white throne. But anyway, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, this is Acts chapter 2.
Verse 1 through 5. Read that.
And it reads, when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues, like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
This is an example just showing you that they was keeping Pentecost. We're going to go to another example. Acts 20 verse 15. You can read a couple more if you need to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Acts chapter 20 verse 15 to 16. And when he sailed thence, he came the next day over against Chios, and the next day were arrived at Samos, and tarried at Trollogym, and the next day we came to Miletus. And Paul had determined to sail by Ephesus, because he would not spend the time in Asia, for he was haste, if it were possible for him to be at Jerusalem the day of Pentecost. And from Miletus he sent Ephesians and called the elders of the church.
Good, right there. So they was keeping Pentecost. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians 15 verse 20. Oh, I'm already there. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 20 to 23. Read that.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 20 to 23.
They go to meat right here.
But now is Christ risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept.
So that's why you celebrate first fruits. Is because he's the first fruit that slept. And Thessalonians, we want to get that same body that he got. That's why when they went to the tomb, the body was gone. The body was gone because that was going to be a representation of what we got. We're going to get in the future.
Right.
So that body couldn't be there. Because it said, from the body you were made, the body you shall return. Well, the Mashiach is doing a new thing. So go to Colossians chapter 1. We got one more for this feast day. We're just giving little briefings. Colossians chapter, that's after Philippians. Colossians chapter 1, verse 17, 18.
And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence.
What does preeminence mean? Look that up. So we're celebrating, when we do Pentecost, first fruits, or the Feast of Weeks is all the same thing. That's what you're celebrating. Christ, the firstborn of the dead, the Mashiach, the Messiah. So we're going to go to James chapter 1, verse 17 and 18.
Oh, 7. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be kind of first fruits of his creatures.
We shall be a kind of first fruit. So we waiting to get that glorified body, man. That the Mashiach got.
That's right.
Okay? So now we're going to go to, back to Leviticus. We're going to go to the blowing of memorial of the trump. Ain't that what's coming up? Blowing of the trumps?
That's the next holy
Yep.
day. Yep.
Next holy day. So we're going to go to back to Leviticus 23, and we're going to get we're going to read about memorial blowing of the trumps. And this feast day is, we'll just bring it out, and then you'll understand where we're coming from. Maybe you have a better understanding once we bring it out. So we're going to go to Leviticus 23 verse 23, and read down to, I'm right here. Read down to 23 to 26.
This is Leviticus chapter 23, verse 23 to 26.
Yes, read that.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 17th month, in the 7th month, and the first day of the month shall you have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying.
So now, we're going to go to Thessalonians. So memorial blowing of the trumps, what's that all about? Okay, I know a lot of the brothers and stuff, they blow the shofar. Beautiful, it's a beautiful thing. But let's get a future tense of really what we're celebrating it about. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. We're going to go to 1 Thessalonians 4, chapter 4, verse 14 through 17. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14 through 17. Everybody familiar with this one. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14.
Okay.
Read down to 17, yeah.
Okay. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Mm-hmm.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord.
Okay, y'all see that? So now, there's a trump of God being blown in verse 16. But let's go to Matthew 24. Let's go to Matthew 24. Let's go to Matthew 24. I think we're going to read the same thing. Matthew 24. Matthew 24, verse 29 to 31. Matthew 24.
29 and 31. So this is Matthew chapter 24. We'll read to verse 29 to 31, and then skip over to 35 to 42.
Yes.
And it reads, Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. 35 and 42. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But on that day and hour knows no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving marriage, until that day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come.
Okay, so now we need to go to Revelations. So now y'all seeing the trumpets, right? Let's go to Revelations and get right to the core. Let's go to Revelations. Chapter 8, just read down to 7 for right now. We're just going to give you a glimpse.
Revelations chapter 8.
Verse 1.
And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and the earthquake. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound.
Here go the first. Come on.
The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up.
Okay, stop. Now, if we go back a chapter to chapter 6, Ham, I want you to read chapter 6, Revelations. I didn't mark it down, but I'm going to just show y'all. Revelation chapter 6, we go back 2 chapters back and read 1 to 7.
1 and 7?
Yeah.
This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 1 to 7. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast saying, Come.
Stop. So what I'm going to show y'all, what I'm showing y'all right now, when he just read that, so what you're celebrating on trumpets is the seven trumpets that's being blown in Revelation. When the first trumpet is blown, a seal is broke all the way down. Read that again. Read the first one. Read verse 1. Who is that on the white horse? Come on.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 1.
Yes.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer.
Stop. So in Thessalonians, when we're caught up in the air and being transformed, only those who are believers that are dead and those that believe that are alive. What is he going to do after that? With this seal is saying. Come on down and read 7. I just wanted to kind of give you a breakdown of that because these chapters is long. 7 seals, 7 trumpets. Come on, read down.
Verse 2, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast saying, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat there to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast saying, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the fourth beast saying, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast saying, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
Okay, that's good right there. So memorial blowing of the trumps, we ushering in, which is a future tense of them trumpets being blown. When you celebrate memorial blowing of the trumps, we're breaking down the future tense, what it means and what it represents. So now we're going to go back to Leviticus 23.
27.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Verse 27.
Okay. Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even, shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
Okay, so on the Day of Atonement, that's when you do from evening to evening, where you do a fast. You do a fast, but now, under certain circumstances, you need to take it up with the Most High. Now, if you on medicine and you have to take medicine, or you diabetic or whatever, and there's certain things that you can't avoid. So that's between you and the Most High. But for the people that ain't no meds or whatever, you're supposed to fast from evening to evening.
That's right. That's right.
And what, have a complication? No, you're just supposed to fast atonement.
That's right.
So, but the people that are on medicines, that's the kind of the Most High will understand. That's a different circumstance. But that don't mean, now that atonement, that day is kind of hard, because everything that all kind of cravings will come up.
That's right.
Yeah. So you kind of gonna be fighting. But anyway, let's get on the atonement. Let's get what is that? Romans 5. Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5, 6 through 11. Romans chapter 5, verse 6 through 11.
This is Romans chapter 5, verse 6 to 11. And it reads, For when we were yet without strength, in due time Christ died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. But God commands his love towards us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Much more than being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from the wrath through him. For if when we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his Son, much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life. And not only so, but we also joy in God through our Lord Jesus Christ, by whom we have now received the atonement.
So that's why we celebrate atonement. He gave up his life. He went through all that torture. That's why it said a body was prepared for me. And he went through that, and all they're asking is one day to fast. So we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go to Leviticus 23, verse 33 through 36.
Verse 33.
Read on down to 36.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days unto the Lord. On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the eighth day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein.
Okay, now let's go back to verse 34. Read verse 34. This is actually 2 feast days. I'm going to break it down. Read 34 again.
34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days unto the Lord.
Okay, that's a feast day within itself. Let's deal with that. Let's go to example. Let's go to Nehemiah 8 verse 14. This is tabernacle, which is also called booths, ingathering. Okay, so we're gonna go to Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 14 through 18. Check this out. I know a lot of people on this particular feast day, they go, camping and, and dwell in tents. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. At all costs, get it in. Celebrate these feast days. Hey,
That's right.
do what you got to do.
That's right.
But check out what it says in Nehemiah 8, verse 14.
So this is Nehemiah 8, verse 14
Through 18.
to 18.
Yeah, you can read that all the way out.
And it reads, and they found written in the law which the Lord had commanded by Moses, that the children of Israel shall dwell in booths in the feast of the 7th month, and that they should publish and proclaim in all their cities and in Jerusalem, saying, go forth unto the mount and fetch olive branches, pine branches, myrtle branches, and palm branches, and branches of thick trees to make booths, as it is written. So the people went forth and brought them and made themselves booths, everyone upon the roof of his house, and in their courts, and in the courts of the house of God, and in the street of the water gate, and in the street of the gate of Ephraim. And all the congregation of them that were come again out of the captivity made booths, and sat under the booths. For since the days of Yeshua the son of Nun, Joshua, unto that day had not the children of Israel done. So and there was very, very great gladness. Also day by day, from the first day unto the last day, he read in the book of the law of God, and kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day was a solemn assembly according unto the manner.
Okay, now let's read about tabernacles, which is actually booths. Okay, we got one witness. Okay, let's go to 2 Peter. Let's go to 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 13 through 15. 13 through 15. And see what it really represents, future tense. See what this booth represents. Let me get there. 2 Peter.
Yea, and I think it meet, as long as I am in this tabernacle, to stir you up by putting you in remembrance, knowing that shortly I must put off this my tabernacle, even as our Lord Jesus Christ hath showed me.
So that tabernacle is your body. That's what you celebrate. You want that glorified body. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. That's your tabernacle. That's why we celebrate tabernacles. You want the same body the Mashiach got. First fruit, on the first fruits.
Put on this old tabernacle.
Yes. So let's go to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1 through 4. Let's get another witness. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1 through.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1 through 4. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, and a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven.
Mm-hmm. That new body, that God body.
That's right. For so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked.
Mm-hmm.
For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortal might be swallowed up of life.
Mm-hmm. The mortal man. Come on. And one man.
Now he that has wrought us for the same self thing is God. We also have given unto us the earnest of the Spirit.
You see that? So the tabernacle is your body. So when you celebrate tabernacles, you need to be thinking future tense about getting that glorified body. Now let's deal with the last feast day. Let's go back to Leviticus 23, and that's the 8th day. We're gonna deal with the 8th day. Leviticus 23, and verse read 36. Yeah, read 36 and 37. Mm-hmm.
7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations,
Mm-hmm.
to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So now let's deal with the 8th day. The 8th day, we're gonna go to let's go to 2 Peter again. 2 Peter 3, chapter 3, verse 8.
This is ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing,
Mm-hmm.
that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
So now I brought you to this point. 7s and 12s. The Most High deal with 7s and 12s. So, Feast of Tabernacles, you got 7 days celebration. Then the 8th day, you're supposed to have another holy convocation, right? Let's go to Psalms 132. Let's go to Psalms 132. Psalms 132, verse 11 to 14.
You there?
Yeah, you there?
Yep.
11 through 14.
The Lord hath sworn in truth unto David, he will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon thy throne. If thy children will keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them, the children shall also sit upon thy throne forevermore. For the Lord hath chosen Zion, he hath desired it for his habitation.
Mm-hmm.
This is my rest forever. Here will I dwell, for I have desired it.
Okay, y'all see that?
See that?
Right? Now, the children of Israel, when they sinned against the Most High in the wilderness, the ones that got killed, except the grown-ups, that was Joshua, they all got killed in the wilderness. They died in the wilderness. But he swore when they sinned against the Most High that they would not enter into his rest, and they will get raised up at the second judgment. Let's go to Hebrews 4. Did we read 2 Peter 8? Yeah. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 1, and then 7 through 11. Read that.
This is Hebrews chapter 4. We go read verse 1 and skip over to verse 7, and we go read through 11.
Yes, sir.
And it reads, Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. Verse 7. Again, he limits a certain day, saying in David, today after so long a time, as it is said, today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Jesus had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remains therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works, as God did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into the rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief.
So that rest is after what you're celebrating on the 8th day. After he read this next verse is Hebrews back, chapter 3, verse 7 through 11. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 7 through 11.
Wherefore, as the Holy Ghost saith, today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation in the day of temptation in the wilderness, when your fathers tempted me, proved me, and saw my works 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore I was grieved with that generation, and said, they do always err in their heart, and they have not known my ways. So I swear in my wrath that they shall not enter into my rest.
Was that it?
That was 11, yeah.
So on the 8th day feast, you know what you're celebrating? You're celebrating that when the Messiah comes, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. So he's going to rest for a year or 1,000 years, but in our case, when we're transformed, that's that rest. That's the 8th day. 7,000 years, after 7,000 years, or 7 days, the rest of the Lord. That's the 8th day.
That's right.
So I hope I shed some light on that as far as the feast days, what they represent, and what the future tense, because a lot of everything points to the future. So with that, I hope you got edified. Shalom, my brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Godspeed.
Serving the word. Watchman 144.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.